Welcome to Angry Beaver Radio here on truthfrequencyradio.com, broadcasting live from the globalist occupied country formerly known as Canada, now known as Canadistan. And here in Mother Canadistan, there apparently is a new statue they're talking about building. It is a Mother Canadistan statue, and who the hell is going to pay for it? This up on BuzzFeed. Parks Canada won't say how much needs to be raised in donations to give their approval. The group behind the controversial Mother Canada monument only has a few $1,000s in the bank, and some are worried that taxpayers could end up on the hook for as much as the statue's potential $60 million price tag. The proposed 80-foot tall monument to fallen Canadian soldiers in Cape Breton, Highlands National Park, has become the focus of a national debate. People have criticized its aesthetics, argued that the national park is not an appropriate location for the statue, raised concerns about whether the news anchors should be endorsing it. One important question is where the money is coming from, and whether the taxpayers could end up footing part of the bill. The Never Forgotten National Memorial Foundation is promising to raise the cost of Mother Canadistan from private donations from the group. Told BuzzFeed Canada it expects to project a cost of $25 million, or their estimates range from $25 to $60 million. But according to filings with the Canada Revenue Agency, as of the end of last year, the foundation had only $6,000 in the bank. It also had $30,000 in accounts receivable against $396,000 in accounts payable and accrued liabilities.
They're late on funds.
Yeah. So, anyways, the article goes on further down there. It is called "Who the Hell is Going to Pay for the Mother Canada Statue?" It's up on BuzzFeed. This is by Paul McLeod, and I don't necessarily, agree or disagree with the article. But I think it raises a good question. Who the hell is going to pay for it? And, say it costs $60 million or more. Couldn't this money be better spent? There are veterans that are homeless. There are veterans that aren't homeless, but they're, living on cat food and tuna. So how about we give the money to the veterans instead of blowing the veterans, all this money on statues? I don't know. I think the money could be better allocated feeding the veterans that served this country rather than just, let them be homeless and eat cat food for the rest of their lives. Let them go die in a hole while we build grandiose statues off the coast called Mother Canadistan.
Yeah, it is definitely a giant statue. It's like, what they say, 80 foot tall. And it's a monument for Canadian soldiers, but who is Mother Canada? That's another question you gotta ask, cause I don't recognize this woman in the, that they've made the design of the statue of, unless it's the character from Game of Thrones, one of the characters.
Well, doesn't it sound like Mother Russia?
Yeah.
It's like, welcome to Mother Canadistan.
Mother Canada.
Niet.
But if you watch Game of Thrones, it's the woman that gives birth to a shadow, sort of.
Oh, it's a shadow people.
Yeah, she's sort of an evil character. That's basically who it reminds me of.
The shadow government.
So if they need a few million, they could always try to hook up with Game of Thrones' successful HBO show for sponsorship.
Well, they could sell advertising space on the on Mother Canadistan statue itself.
Yeah, because she's wearing some rags, so whoever.
Yeah, you get some LCD screens up there with some ads running. Make it look like it's like the Times Square statue.
Yeah, see, I think it's sort of like a Statue of Liberty, because it's probably one of the most eastern places, like Cape Breton is somewhere out in the Atlantic.
Yeah, Mother Canadistan, is a tale of a lady who used to beat her children. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's probably a Masonic monument, because most of these are. Like, that's the Statue of Liberty. It was made by French Freemasons, and then it was given to America, brought over.
Hey, if they're able to raise the funds privately to build it, I don't really have much of an issue with it. I just, if the taxpayers are going to be paying for most of, or the majority of, or even half of, it's not, it's no good.
Well, do you think the homeless, veterans will have to pay for it too as well out of their pocket change?
Well, it's really just spitting in their face. You know, any homeless or they don't even have to be homeless, just any veteran on a fixed income that's barely scraping by and low on food and has no money. I mean, it's this ridiculous monument's just spitting in their face. Oh, gee, thanks for the service. Maybe one day I can hitchhike out west or out east and see this statue that I can't afford because I can't afford a bus ticket or a plane ride. So, I mean, it'd be a different story if, economically Canada was doing good and we didn't have homeless, starving veterans.
Well, don't you have a pension when you leave the service?
Oh yeah, you got pensions, but I mean, there's times when people have been denied. There's quite a few instances of that happening. And then it's a fixed income, right? So, okay, you're guaranteed this much. Well, that was way back in when? The 60s, 70s, 80s. Well, there's this thing called inflation that steals your money. Right? So if you're on a fixed income of, $900 pension a month or whatever it is, it's, the price of everything goes up. Your pension does not increase.
So it actually goes down.
So yeah, that's the game plan. That's why they print all this money and imagine up all this money and cause inflation, is to steal your retirement plan. And it doesn't matter what you invested in. They'll steal it through inflation, and the average citizen doesn't even see that it's going on. And it happens slowly over time. It's not like it's overnight.
Just like diamonds are inflated, and they're actually useless, really.
Yeah, there's not that many uses for them, and yes, they are inflated by. Well, the way they inflate them is not by creating more diamonds. They're inflating the price of the diamonds, making them more valuable by hoarding them, and by having a monopoly on them.
I guess it just depends on how you rate them yourself. Oh, they look nice on my wife's or girlfriend's finger. I think it's priceless.
Well, if the diamonds don't go through the diamond monopoly system, then they're considered blood diamonds. So it's ridiculous. Yes, some of them would be blood diamonds, but some of them aren't.
They want you to get De Beers.
Yeah, they want you. De Beers runs the diamond show, okay? And there's no shortage of diamonds. They're not scarce. They're not. I mean, it's a joke. So the diamonds have been an ongoing scam for the long time.
Rare jewels.
Yeah, there are blood diamonds, and they get funneled through De Beers, and De Beers then stamps their approval. Okay, magically they're not blood diamonds anymore. And then anyone, say, just some private guy, just some guy walking around Africa, he's not working at a mine, he's digging through the muck, he finds a diamond, he goes and sells it on the street or on the black market, and that diamond ends up in a jewelry store or something, on a ring, and is considered a blood diamond because it didn't go through De Beers. So yes, there is an issue with blood diamonds and the diamond trade, but it's not as black and white as people think it is.
Can get Mother Canada a ring.
But I mean, you could smash up the diamond industry by squishing the monopoly, but it would then collapse the price of diamonds to such a low level that, most diamond mines would just close anyway. So, I mean, I don't know.
Just like the nickel mines up there in Sudbury.
Well, nickel's a bit different because that's a base metal that you produce things out of. So that's base metals. That's a different story than diamonds are virtually useless. There's some industrial applications they could use them for.
Yeah.
But,
I've been up at the nickel belt. They got a museum. You have to go down to the mines down there. It's a whole museum, from the turn of the century right up till now, which is all computerized. Before, if they wanted to dynamite a certain area, they just dynamited a certain area and just hoped that there's something down there. But nowadays it's all computerized, and they know exactly where to mine, and that's how they do it. And women were not allowed to go down there at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't allowed to mine. Nowadays, you got women going down there all the time, but back in those days, women weren't allowed. I wonder why. Nag. Probably. No, I don't know. They probably, it's women.
They didn't have any respect for Mother Canada back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. So we went down there, and it was pretty interesting. You had to get in a helmet to go down there as well, because you bang your head on different things and stuff like that. So you had to be very careful. But it was an interesting tour. It was great. That's how we did everything in those days, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I just saw the Mother Canada. I just saw the reason why they got a rush on it. The foundation hopes to have the monument in place by Canada's 150th birthday, 2017.
Oh yeah.
So we got 150th birthday coming up.
Right. Mm. Will it be going up in the
Incorporation of Canada?
Will it be going up in Halifax or?
It says Cape Breton, but they show the outcrop area. It looks like it's like just a barren, like rock beach.
Right.
That they're going to have to build up.
Well, you kind of think they would have it in Halifax because that's where the port is, Pier 21. That's where everybody came over from Europe years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Through that port.
Well, maybe this is something you have to pass to get there because it's like if it was a Statue of Liberty thing, they want the immigrants to pass it as they see it. I don't think there's many immigrants coming over by boat though these days.
150 years. They should have made the statue of like a butchered Indian.
Well, it does say
to commemorate.
They gotta wait for a First Nations review and environmental assessment.
Wouldn't it be more fitting just a picture of a butchered Indian? 150-year birthday, here you go. Something to be proud of. Or maybe a statue of a Chinese guy going into a mountainside with some nitroglycerin in his hand.
I'm sure there was pirates too back out there in the Atlantic.
Oh, there's still pirates today. Hello.
They should do a pirate ship statue.
Yeah, exactly. With the ISIS flag flown on it.
Yeah. Maybe get some Somali pirates to patrol the area.
I like how they give a range to 25 to 60 million, somewhere in there. That range.
How do you couldn't narrow it down. And everything's over budget when it comes to these kinds of things. It's always over the top, like whatever the top part of the range was is probably going to be double that.
Mm-hmm.
So 120 million. Let's make it $1 billion. It's our 150th birthday.
Yeah, so that's where you know it's going to be at least partially government funded if they don't do the whole thing. Because the government has set aside their Canada Day Fund, I guess, 2017.
But how can we? We're in debt. $600+ billion. How can we pay for it when we're in debt? We want to go more in debt.
Well, just take out an extra credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they would consider this an asset, Mother Canada, because it could go on the list of UN heritage sites or something.
Yeah, and what happens whenever they sell off? They build these public monuments or these assets or buildings or whatever. They charge us ridiculous rates. It always goes way over budget. And then as we start to go bankrupt, we're like, well, we're going to sell off some of these assets. We don't really need them. And they sell them off for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
So say a $60 million Mother Canada stand statue, at the fire sale, you could probably get it for $1 million or maybe a couple million. Sit on it for a few years and then maybe sell it to some other country, get it shipped to Uruguay or something. I don't know.
Have it melted down and build ships out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I took holidays for 2 weeks, so I'm relaxing and taking it all in. And I picked a good time to take a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to enjoy 2 weeks, retirement.
2 weeks retirement, then it's back to the grind.
Yeah, that's what they do to you.
You might as well head out to check out a Mother Canada statue.
Yeah,
See if you can make it out to Cape Breton.
I'm thinking we should just drop a whole bunch of outhouses around that island there around the statue because you get good real estate value there.
Yeah, and you'll be bringing in the tourists to see it.
Yeah.
Any kind of sinister sight gets a popularity.
Well, guess what? End of the show.
It's that time.
And the Mother Canada statue in Cape Breton.